Have you ever wondered about the bones of a story? What did the outline look like before the characters hijacked it? Ophelia Kee always wondered the same things about her own stories. As a discovery writer, the chaotic pantser style, not even the author knew how the tales in the Draoithe Saga would go until they went. Backward analyzing one story while busy writing the next tale or two somehow never happened. Apparently, OK put things off long enough, and some fancy computer magic will provide us with those long-wished-for story overviews. We can finally X-ray the tales from the dream and see their skeletons. Shall we investigate the next story in the dream?
All right, today we're diving headfirst into the steamy, magical world of Draoithe, brought to life in Ophelia Kee's novel Sorceress Valkyrie. So, if you're ready, let's jump right in.
You know, the author herself really sets the stage with this line. She's inviting us into a world that's meant to be more than just read. It's meant to be felt. So let's go ahead and accept that invitation. Let's step into the dream. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to get our bearings and explore the world of Draoithe. Then, we'll meet the dragon and the sorceress who are at the very center of this story. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the dangerous Valkyrie bond that connects them. And we'll wrap up by looking at the ultimate choice that could change absolutely everything.
Okay, so let's kick things off with our first section. Welcome to Draoithe. I mean, before we can really get to know the characters, we've got to understand the world they're living in, right? What are the rules of this place?
So get this, the core idea is pretty wild. We're in a version of Tyler, Texas, of all places, where literally every myth, every legend, every fairy tale you've ever heard of is real. And the main conflict driving this universe is this fight to restore a kind of magical balance. The key to it all? Fated couples finding each other.
Now, it's really important to know that the author, Ophelia Kee, calls this a saga for a reason, and the definition right here is the key. She's telling us from the get-go that we're not just reading a single book. Nope. We are diving into this huge, sprawling history about the founding of an entire immortal kingdom. The way this story is told is also really unique. It's broken up into these smaller mini-series, which is cool because it lets you jump in at different spots. Most of the main action is happening around the year 2016, but the world just keeps getting bigger. You've got other kingdoms interacting, characters from other stories making cameos, and you even see the same events retold from totally different points of view. It really creates this rich, complex world.
Okay, so now that we have the lay of the land, let's meet the people at the heart of this particular story. Section 2, the dragon and the sorceress. And let me tell you, these are two seriously broken souls who find each other in this crazy magical world.
So on one side, you have Lachlan Erskine, but everyone calls him Blaze. He's a 629-year-old gray dragon alpha who smells like juniper and whiskey. And on the other side, we've got Grace Jenkins, or Jewel, a 305-year-old Valkyrie sorceress who smells like jasmine. I mean, right away you can just feel the contrast in their age, their size, their whole magical vibe. It's totally intentional. And their backstories? Man, they are just drenched in trauma. He was, and I mean this literally, a dungeon master, a torturer for a king, and he still carries all that darkness with him. And her? She was a jeweler who got kidnapped, tortured in some kind of horrible experiment, and then had everything she owned burned to the ground. We're meeting these two people when they are at their absolute rock bottom.
So, you've got these two incredibly broken characters. How in the world do they even begin to heal? Well, the answer is in the magical connection at the very core of this book, which brings us to Section 3, the Valkyrie Bond. It's an ancient, dangerous ritual that could either be their salvation or their complete destruction.
This leads us right to the central magical question of the whole story, right? How does a sorceress like Grace become a Valkyrie for a dragon like Blaze? As you're about to see, the process is, well, it's intense, to say the least.
So the ritual itself is this 5-step process that is just, wow. It's both incredibly violent and deeply, deeply intimate. It all starts with them exchanging blood, then it moves to a physical union where his blood literally gives her wings and fangs. And it all culminates in this magical climax that actually merges their souls. We're talking about a total and complete fusion of two beings.
And this quote from the book just drives home how high the stakes are. This is not some gentle, romantic ceremony. It's described as lengthy and violent. And that final act, where she drinks her fill of his blood, that's what allows her to fully command his magic. It's a complete transfer of power, born out of this brutal, raw encounter.
So after hearing about a ritual that intense and that permanent, you can imagine it all boils down to a single, massive choice. And that brings us to our final section, a trade of fear for strength and the ultimate decision that Grace has to make.
This one line from Grace just perfectly captures her entire dilemma. Her first instinct is to reject this idea of being so deeply bonded to someone. But in the very next breath, she admits he gives her the one thing she wants more than anything else: safety. And for a survivor like her, feeling safe is, well, it's everything.
Her conflict goes so deep. You have to understand, as a sorceress, her whole life, her entire training is built around fearing and fighting dark magic. But Blaze, he is dark magic. So how can she possibly square her identity with her desperate need for him?
And this is it. This is the central question of the entire book. Her entire existence is defined by her fears. He's offering her a life without them. But the cost is embracing the very darkness she was taught her whole life to run from. Can she really make that trade?
I mean, just look at the choice laid out in front of her. It's so stark. On one side, you've got all her fears. Being this broken woman, being terrified of losing control, of becoming a magical slave, a thrall. But then look at what Blaze is offering. All his treasure, the unbelievable power of a dragon, absolute safety, and this crucial promise that he will never force her. It's a direct trade. Her trauma for his power. Her past for his future.
And we end on this incredibly powerful, provocative promise from Blaze. It's not a demand, it's an offer. A simple, profound exchange that really defines their entire relationship. Give me your fear, I'll give you my strength. He's willing to carry her fear so that she can wield his strength. The question that just hangs in the air is, will she finally let him?
I sincerely hope you enjoyed this view of a story skeleton, glimpsing the characters, setting, and plot structure along with the twists within the writing in this tale from the Draoithe Saga by Ophelia Kee. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more original stories and audio adventures. A special thank you to OK Music Writers for writing and for sharing the Enter the Dream soundtrack. It's more than a story, it's an experience. Welcome to the dream.